Well, we also looked at Guardians from Disney, which you take the good and the bad with Disney. The reality is that they turn in pretty damn good encodes. Their discs look nice and polished and fantastic, and taken on their own. Apart from the Atmos complaints we've had over the years, by and large, it's a pretty consistent studio at turning out decent releases. The trouble they have is they've kind of undone themselves by doing a streaming service that offers things that they don't do on the disc, and as well as most of the stuff they do on the disc, like the extras. It's a shame, because if any other studio was releasing discs as kind of consistently good as Disney, they would be applauded for it. I mean, you look at other studios, maybe like, I don't know, Paramount, or even some of the problems that Studio Canal have had. Everyone seems to have had a few problems over the last 12 months, maybe longer. Disney's output's pretty regular, but if you go to Disney Plus, you get their output in IMAX enhanced. You get like Dolby Vision. You get all the bells and whistles, and even if in side-to-side comparisons, or back and forth comparisons, they don't actually make a great deal of difference. The fact that it's got that little tag on it just entices people to go, this disc isn't worth as much. The latest Guardians release is, I think, one of the first releases from them on disc I've come across that comes with IMAX expanded scenes. And it was a nice surprise. I saw the film with the IMAX expanded ratio, and I saw the changing scope that they implemented for it. And I think that what's interesting here is we don't get the same video version that people have got on Disney Plus. This is like a theatrical IMAX experience where you do get a shifting aspect ratio, whereas the Disney Plus IMAX enhanced is a fixed scope for the entire film. And what's interesting about that, because I appreciate a lot of people still be sucked in on Disney Plus, is apart from those who are going to be annoyed by what their projector does, it's actually more of an immersive experience to have it change ratio when you're supposed to wow at that scene, rather than just have it blanket big. And I hadn't noticed that before. Blanket big's great. IMAX enhanced for some of Disney stuff is good, but there is some dead space, and on the disc you don't have that. And sometimes it changes a little bit too often, but sometimes it's a very cool scene that it suddenly got big. I had a lot of fun with that. I also went back and forth between the Disney Plus Atmos, which was surprisingly bassy, to the Atmos on the disc, which is absolute demo. And overall, I thought it was a cut above what anyone has really come to expect from Disney, which is already a pretty good standard.
Nice.
And one of their best releases in a long time. And same can be said about the movie. I really enjoyed Guardians Volume 3. I know it's got some mixed things. I know it's getting a lot of comparison to like the pre-Endgame Infinity Saga movies and how they were consistently of a better standard. I had a blast with Guardians 3. It had some heart to it. It had, putting Rocket front and center was a lovely move. I really.
However you cut it, it's better than 2, not as good as 1.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
one
it.
is
like however you rate them. I think that's probably like a safe thing to say.
Yes, and
but Mark disagrees.
Well, yeah.
See, I'm
not opening that can of worms, otherwise we're never going to get to Rennie Harlan. But just to say, Mark disagrees.
You can take that, and you can take that to the bank.
That's allowed. Mark can disagree. That's fine.
Mark disagrees by quoting Steven Seagal.
That's absolutely correct.
Anyway, go get Guardians 3 or just watch it on Disney. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you right now, the disc is pretty good and a nice surprise. If you really like the podcast, then buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/AVForums.